They printed out a confession and I signed. We're gonna head over across the Han River back into Hanyang and check out an old gate. We just had our dumpling lunch, so we are now energized and ready to go find this gate. I need to get across this road. I can very vaguely see the tower. I don't even know if you guys can make that out with the mist. Low-lying clouds, smog. But that's the direction we need to head. Now, the only other time that I've had kind of an encounter with the Chinese police, other than my confession and interrogation, was when they kind of spot checked the house that I was living at. I've heard some people say this has happened to them a lot, like they've had multiple checks. I lived here for like 7 years and I only ever got spot checked once, and that was in 2008. That's the year they had the Olympics here. So anytime there's some kind of big event, be it a party congress or the Olympics, they do all their kind of dotting of I's and crossing of T's to make sure everything is in the right place. So essentially in this case, it was making sure all the foreigners were where they're supposed to be. It's a bit of a weird one as well, because it was me and two of my mates, an Aussie guy and a Filipino guy. We were all kind of hanging out at home, having a few beers. We got a knock on the door and there's like 4 Chinese policemen who came in. None of them spoke English. I had really broken Chinese at the time, much worse than it is now. And yeah, all I could do was get enough information from them as to why they were here, that I could call my boss. There's a different boss from the interrogation boss, and then she was kind of able to sort them out by a phone call. But yeah, they basically just came to our house, checked our passports, and checked our names matched the records of who they had at living that address. Now the Filipino guy wasn't actually living there, it was just me and the Aussie guy sharing an apartment. So yeah, it caused a bit of confusion, but other than that, never really had anything. But as I said, I've heard stories from other people who said they've been kind of spot checked multiple times. I think it can depend on which city you're in, and it can depend what events are going on, and it can even depend, I think, maybe if the rumors are true, on what nationality you are. Some nationalities are more likely to get checked than others. So yeah, 1 interrogation and confession and fine, and 1 spot check. But that's pretty much it. I did once ask a cop for directions to McDonald's, but he only knew where KFC was. So yeah, interactions with the Chinese police, for me, fortunately, have kind of been at a minimum. Let's hope we keep it that way. This is the road we're supposed to go down. And there's some bikes here. Let's take a bike. That click is success. The seat's a bit low. There we go, now the seat's as high as it can go. I mean, it does say that spot is 10-minute parking, but I reckon he's been there more than 10 minutes. Okay, where the f do we go from here? Left. Oh, there's a bus coming. Right, go, 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 go. Oh, this road's bumpy as right. Well, that's quite a view. That bridge we've never been across. We've been across that stretch of water, but we haven't been across the bridge. I mean, for a big city with over 10 million people in it, I gotta say, there's a fair few green spaces, which is nice. And I see some stairs up that bridge. We may have to cross that sucker later, if we can find this gate. Honestly, man, Parking, you can't park with your ass out like that. You're gonna get clipped. Look at that. It's miles of space. Do better.
问你，
你问我啊？
哎，
现在2点过10分。
好，谢谢。
好，不用谢。
2点多钟了，2点过10分了。
对。That lady wanted to know the time. It's my second good deed for the day for old ladies. I'm on fire. But yeah, I want to find this gate. I could see it from when we crossed the bridge the other day, down on my left, so on the Hanyang side. There's a gate here somewhere. In the meantime, that's the Han River, and that's a bridge. Can you see that? Just off in the distance, poking its head above that wall, looks to be some kind of old Chinese style architecture. I was just starting to think I'd made a big old mistake coming to this, whatever this is, but I swear it has to be around here based on where we saw it from the bridge. So optimism rising, just a touch, just poking its head above those trees. I think we have a new winner for our worst parking award. Just park in the middle of the footpath in a random area next to a park. Anyway, it's a Chevy as well. It's a Chevrolet. It's not even a Beamer. Right, we can definitely see it's there. If we get to the base of this thing and it's some kind of walled off thing and I gotta go all the way back around, not gonna be a happy chappy, but there's some stairs here, so there's gonna be a way. And that's genuinely some of the first graffiti I've seen in terms of kind of like something a little bit artistic. Mostly it's just people leaving bloody numbers. Contact me to buy cement bags. Anything. Right. What is this place? I probably have made very hard work of getting here. I tried to find a name for it. I searched like ancient gate, asked my wife what the name of the gate is. I probably should ask my father-in-law, but yeah, I feel like we've come the long way around, but it's been scenic. Right, now that I can see the name up there, I know what this place is called. It's called Qingchuangge, which just means like the Qingchuang Pavilion. I get the feeling we're gonna have to buy a ticket. Entrance. Well, that door's shut. How do we get in? 你好，你是怎么进去的？
上面。
到上面进去啊？
上面有门的那个。
需要买票吗？还是什么的？
免费的。
免费的。对对对。我绕个圈可以进吗？还是你不知道？
我也不认识。我要从上面那个。
是吧？
对对对。
哦，
要不你就翻上上面。
太危险了。好，谢谢。That guy suggested ever so briefly you can jump the wall, but no, let's not do that. Here it is. Another wall, but I can see a gap. Let's go this way. Right, also now that I know the name of this place, I was able to look it up to see just how old it is. What do you reckon? Ancient? Genuinely ancient? 90s? If you guessed 1980s. 1984. Tourist attraction, built in the old style, but about the same age as me. 这边可以进吧？
是哪个国家的？
我新西兰的。
新西兰的。对。厉害，你中文说的极好啊！
就是那个秦川阁的入口吗？还是？
秦川阁是吧？
对对。
秦川阁出去右转。
出去右转就到了。我这个地方没来过，我想看一下。
你老婆你没给老婆带来，她给你当向导了。
什么东西？
你可以让你老婆我给你当向导。
哦，对对对对对，她不想来。
她不想。
她去逛街了，买东西买衣服。
就是 应该陪他去呀，先把衣服买好了。
陪他逛街好累的，我觉得。
那好累。
我觉得这个还是好玩一些。
有2米吧，高。
1.94米。
1.94米。
对。你几点钟下班呢？6 点下班。这个地方是6点关门吗？还是？
下午4点半关门。
4点半，我还早。好，谢谢。Oh, that's what I could see. That is what I could see from the bridge. That thing, that 1984 gate. That's what I could see from the bridge. Well, folks, we made it in. Didn't have to buy a ticket. I didn't even have to scan. There's some turnstiles there which says you're supposed to scan, like register with an app, but nobody's attending the gate, so I just kind of moseyed on in. Yeah, let's take a look around. Core values of socialism, just in case you missed them back at the other park. China's kind of in this weird position where they rebuild all of these old places to kind of get back in touch with their history, and you'd think most of them should still be there, and there are places obviously which do genuinely date back to longer than 1984. Now, some of the sites were obviously destroyed during the Cultural Revolution when they were trying to get rid of all the olds, and sadly for China, their kind of history of warfare, warlords, Japan coming here, imperial dynasties being overthrown, just means a lot of sites just plain got destroyed. So yeah, to kind of make up for the lack of that connection with history, you just rebuild it. If you leave these places long enough, I guess 1984 will seem like ages ago. Well, this gate has even less history than the pavilion next to us. It says it was built in the 1990s, but it's a model of one that existed about 1800 years ago. But like I mentioned, stuff tended to get busted back then. Here we are, folks, stood at the spot where we could see from that bridge just the other day. I wasn't dreaming. So this is it. This is the Qingchuan Pavilion. Now we know the name. It's free to get in. Although, as I said, not that old, unless you consider 1984 to be ancient. Feels kind of hollow. Maybe that's a fitting way to describe it. But yeah, Chinese cities historically did have walls around them, which probably would have looked something like this. Now, helpfully, there's another city in Hubei, not in Wuhan, but in the same province, which does have some walls which date back longer than 1984. If we get a chance, we'll hopefully get to go see them as well. 是本地人，那你肯定来了很多次吧？哎，哦，我第一次。中国话说吗？还好吧，可以沟通。哪一国的？新西兰的。新西兰。对。但是我老婆是武汉人。哦。那你是在这里？我们在新西兰，但是回来探亲。我岳父岳母在武汉。这你还知道？北岛的。对，好，你慢慢逛。 That guy knows his New Zealand geography. He knows there's a North Island and a South Island. Good man. Very friendly. Well, that's it, folks. That's the gate that I was looking for. We may not have had the best luck with the police museum. I mean, I got in. Couldn't take you guys along. But we did get to see a few things. I'm not going to do the bridge. The bridge can wait for another time. It was hard enough finding this thing. And as I said, to be honest, I probably made it I probably made a relatively easy job difficult by not looking up the name properly, but we got there in the end. It was an adventure.
你老婆没教你啊？
太难了。
也不，地方方言也不是很难。你们反正你老婆也说的就普通话。
那你是不是也会那个安徽话呢？
安徽话也会，武汉话也会。
For all its kind of fakeness, it's a pretty big effort to try and attract people to come shopping here, right?
我去当了兵回来的。
当兵2年。怎么样？